FreeWave Edge is an edge data processing platform that takes data from several industrial protocols and I/O inputs. It does high-speed edge polling, and then running on the Zoom series and the new Fusion series from FreeWave, it provides threshold and change alerting on edge data storage and real-time publishing and store and forward publishing via MQTT and other methods to the enterprise system, the SCADA system, the cloud of your choice. And so what does this provide? This saves you time because it's easier to set up and saves time in reporting data automatically instead of having to drive out and collect data. It saves you money potentially because you're increasing productivity or not getting fined for lack of data in your reports. And it provides higher quality data to feed your analytics, your business operations, whatever you need to make your business run. And it runs on FreeWave's industrial hardware, so you can get the hardware, our connectivity over the Z900 megahertz network, and that edge data processing all in one box from a single source. We're going to cover some of the future things at the end, but this is an expandable platform, and we definitely want your feedback on where you think it should go next, what other features would be useful to you, what other problems you think this can help you solve. So please be in touch. And with that, we're going to talk about two of the main problems that we solve with FreeWave Edge. We have a before and after diagram for both of these. So our first challenge is around network capacity and bandwidth. And for those of you that are running FreeWave networks or other radio networks already, you know better than me the challenges of adding sites to those networks, of getting all the data you need efficiently over those networks. And one of the challenges there is because we're doing often two-way pole response over the air. So this FreeWave data pipe in the middle represents our over-the-air data link, and that data link is often going to be at capacity or struggling with bandwidth, and you're only getting a certain amount of bits and bytes of data out that data pipe. And from there, you're taking it with your own system into the command center, into a cloud application. What we do with FreeWave Edge, and this is a drop-in software upgrade on FreeWave devices or available to order. We do what we call high-speed edge polling, and then over the air, we publish much more efficiently. This happens to be via MQTT most of the time, and this is one-way data publishing. So it's taking up less bandwidth for any individual data point. So you're getting more bits and bytes out the end. And also due to our protocol conversion, our edge storage, and our edge data processing, we're also turning that into useful real-world data for your industrial operation and your business, represented here on the graph by these temperature and pressure icons. And from here, via MQTT, this can go to your SCADA system, your enterprise dashboard, your cloud, wherever you need the data to go. The upside of this is that if you're running a radio network already, this freed up bandwidth allows you to add additional data points and additional sites to that radio network. So you can keep your same infrastructure in place, but get more sites connected and get more data going over that same bandwidth. So that's our solution to the challenges of connectivity, which is a big one that we think we have a good solution for. The next challenge we think we have a good solution for is data collection. So again, before and after, but a little bit different layout here. So on the bottom from left to right, we have time, and we've got 20 or so data points here in our example. And then our y-axis, if you will, is edge at the bottom, cloud and SCADA system at the top, with our over-the-air radio link in the middle. So with polling over the air and poll response SCADA systems, the challenge there is the polling rate on those is often quite slow, whether it's once a minute, once every 15 minutes, once an hour, a couple times a day. You're not getting very much data at a very fast rate. And so of these data points, you're only getting one data point coming out the end of your radio link. The other challenge with this is no connectivity type is perfect. And if you have a connectivity issue, a loss in connectivity, that poll response over the air just doesn't get any data at all. So this ends up affecting your bottom line with lost data, lost productivity, and even fines if you're not able to port data accurately or report data for a certain period of time to your regulatory agency. And then the other challenge is once your connection's reestablished, you're still getting only that slow one data point, one update at a slow rate. So what do we do with FreeWave Edge? So with FreeWave Edge, we install it on the Zoom link or Zoom Edge that's out at the edge of your network, whether that's any industrial operation. And then we do high-speed edge polling and on-edge data storage. So we're doing polling of the industrial protocols at the edge. We're doing storage on that Zoom link. So depending on how many tags you have, what your polling rate is, we can do a week to a month of storage. And then we're publishing that over the air very efficiently, taking up less bandwidth, but at the end of the day, your business system, SCADA system, cloud platform, it gets all the data that's available. So in this example, all 5 out of 5 of these data points are getting into your business system. What happens if there's a connectivity issue in the same place? So if there's a connectivity issue, but your device at the edge is still running, it's still doing high-speed polling, it's still doing that on-edge data storage, but it can't send the data. So with our store and forward feature, we're retrying, we're looking for that connection to be restored. And then as soon as that connection is restored, we're sending that over the air with all 3 bundles of data here. So at the end of the day, your cloud or business system gets every available data point, even though your connectivity was lost. So the connectivity loss in this case becomes then a temporary hiccup rather than a bottom line affecting issue. So for these issues of data collection, we provide both higher resolution and higher speed data collection, as well as providing the guaranteed data delivery, even if you have a connectivity issue because of that store and forward feature. So we think this is, again, a very good solution for many of our customers that are out there. So those are the 2 big features of FreeWave Edge and 2 of the big problems that we solve. I'm about to jump into a demo here, but before I do, I wanted to highlight one available feature that's in beta that's available on the Zoom IQ, and that is our Ethernet over Serial feature. If you are, or if you have customers that have existing FreeWave serial radio networks with the FGR2, the FGR3, or the GX series, you can run the Ethernet over serial feature. And what we do there is we take a Zoom IQ, we put one at the gateway end, we put one at the end point, and with that, you can run Ethernet connections, you can run FreeWave Edge on that Zoom IQ, but you can keep your existing serial radio infrastructure in place and keep your existing poll response in place as well. So if you wanted to upgrade just a couple sites without replacing the entire network, if you wanted to do a transition, this is a good option to have in your pocket to run FreeWave Edge, but still be compatible with an existing FGR or GX radio network. So again, that's something, if you're interested in, contact your FreeWave sales rep and we can get you some more information. And with that, we are going to jump into a demo. You should now be seeing a Zoom Link on-device website. For those of you that are familiar with this, we've added an Edge tab at the top. If you're on a Zoom Edge, you would also have the I/O tab here at the top. But in this example, I am running a Zoom Link Z9P2 here at my desk. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Zoom Link website, this is I call it the on-device website. So it's running on the Zoom Link itself. You access it via the IP address of the Zoom Link, and it lets you get basic information about your device. Here we've got some of our firmware versions, our serial number. It also lets us set our radio settings to connect to the Z9 radio network. So gateway mode, radio mode, transmit power, frequencies. It also lets us set our network settings to connect to our cloud or connect to our corporate network. And then with FreeWave Edge, so FreeWave Edge is a licensed upgrade feature. So if you have the correct software installed and if you have the correct license installed, you will see the Edge tab here at the top, and that is where the bulk of our demo is going to be. We mentioned at the beginning, we support polling from Modbus, ROC, and also FreeWave IO. So if you are on a Zoom Edge, you'll see your IO sensors here, your analog inputs, showing up automatically on this page, and this link would take you back to the Zoom Edge local IO setup. With Modbus, so any external Modbus device you're connected to shows up on the Modbus subtab, and then any Emerson ROC or FlowBoss shows up on the ROC tab. Bulk of our demo today is going to be with Modbus, and for demo purposes, I am doing some internal polling on the radio network. So these signal levels are internal diagnostics on that Z9 radio network, which are made available via Modbus, and I'm doing polling on them internally. But if you have an external Modbus device, that would show up here just the same. You can configure your individual Modbus registers and add new ones. And one of the features here I like to highlight, beside entering in all your Modbus IP address and register numbers, is our custom unit scaling. So you can enter any text string you like and a min and max raw value and scaled value. And this is how we take the raw Modbus register from just a number to a real world temperature, pressure, whatever it happens to be for your operation. And then we do all of our processing in that real world value, all of our alerting in that real world value. So it makes it easier to set up and convert your inputs to useful information. And here we also have our polling interval to set up our polling of these devices. And you can set it for whatever you want. We have this set for 10 seconds. You can go down to once a second or go slower in minutes or hours, depending on how fast you need data and how much storage you want to have. The other nice thing we've got on this page is our last readings column that shows the last reading of the value here, so that when you're a technician in the field and you're trying to know, did I get this connected correctly, you can look at these last readings and say, yep, that matches what I'm seeing in the field, so I know it's connected. And from here, we're going to work our way down the left-hand side of our menu structure. And the way our menu structure works, it's a wizard style, top to bottom. So start at the top, work your way to the bottom, and at the end, you'll have a working system. So our next tab is our data publishing tab, and this is where you'd add your MQTT broker. So in my example, my broker is Mosquito running on a Raspberry Pi. It shows I'm currently connected, and I can edit it just to show you some of the configurations. If you're using TLS certificates for a secure MQTT connection, we support adding those certificates as well. And here is where we get into our store and forward feature. So we have two options for data publishing. One is store and forward, one is real-time publishing. So here is the store and forward, and we have several different forwarding types for compatibility with different SCADA and cloud systems that are out there. We also have 3 different JSON data formats that are available for compatibility with SCADA and cloud systems. Some of these are a little easier to deal with and automatically import into some systems. Some of them are more efficient, but parsing on the cloud side. So we've got options there for you. And then we also have our publishing frequency, which is our interval for how often we want to publish our data. So if you were doing polling at once a second and publishing it once a minute, every minute we're going to send a bundle of data with 60 seconds worth of samples in it to get you to all that high resolution data, but efficiently published over the air. So that's how you set up store and forward. The other option is real-time publishing, which happens via MQTT Spark-Plug-B. So in our real-time publishing setup, we can configure it to enable or disable, publish only changes, or publish all values as they come in. And then you can set up your IDs for Spark-Plug-B for this device. And then we show here the topic that this publishes to, so you know exactly where to look in your SCADA system for this particular data. So from there, I set that up and I've got a working data flow from my IO or my protocols with data storage, with data publishing to my cloud or SCADA system. From here, we can add a couple features, and these are optional features. One of these is an email server, and we support sending emails for alerts. So here you would enter the SMTP, which is the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, SMTP server information for your corporate network, and enter the sender. Typically, you would have to set up an email address that's dedicated to your edge device, and then we'll send the emails as soon as the alerts come in, which brings me to the alerts feature. So with the alerts feature, we're going to walk through a little wizard here to set up your alerts. So step 1 is selecting your value, your input, your IO from the list of inputs. So this list is the same that shows up on the sensor tab. And then I can select a trigger type, and we support either threshold alerts or rapid change alerts. So in this example, we're going to hit next for threshold, and we're going to trigger this alert when the sensor reading is greater than a certain value. So let's say greater than a certain value in degrees. So we'll just put 100, and we want to know when it's been at that value for more than, we could do 10 seconds, we could do 30 seconds, or minutes or hours, and hit next. And here we set up the alert recipient. So here we can send this value via MQTT or email to the specific broker, or if I'm sending it via email, it's to a specific email address. We can enter the MQTT topic or the email subject, and we can customize this message to whatever we want. So sensor reading, and this plugs in the value, was greater than 100 degrees for more than 10 seconds. And we hit next, and now we give it a name, and now it shows up on our list in the alerts tab, and we can edit it, we can disable it, we can delete it. And now, in addition to your store and forward publishing, your real-time publishing, you're now getting alerts as soon as the values you care about are going, out of range, or going somewhere you don't want them to go. So you can set up store and forward to get all your data, and then for a few key parameters, set up alerts. So as soon as something happens, you are getting MQTT message, you're getting an email, so you know what's going on in your operation. And then the last tab tab here is a simple one for an email report. So this adds a daily at 8 a.m. device time, which is typically UTC. We send an email alert to whatever email addresses you put in here. That is a simple list of timestamps and all the alerts that happened on this device over the last 24 hours. With that, we'll go back to the presentation, a bit of availability, and what's coming next. I hope you see the ease of use in this setup, the top to bottom wizard of all the values being right here, so you can easily know whether you're connected or not and what's going on in your industrial operation. So let's just talk pricing and availability real fast. FreeWave Edge, as I said, is a licensed upgrade on FreeWave hardware. That's $150 list price that includes Modbus and I/O support. That is a one-time activation, not a recurring subscription. Additional protocols are subject to additional licensing fees, and features we add in the future, of course, may be subject to additional charges as well. I did want to highlight that FreeWave Edge on a Zoom link includes the IQ license at no extra charge. The IQ license is $150 standalone, but FreeWave Edge at $150 includes that IQ license. And then we also have here the kit price for Ethernet over serial at $479 that includes the license and the cable. Again, this is for Zoom IQ for compatibility with those FGR or GX radio networks. That is available now, and we look forward to working with you, getting your feedback, and seeing where we can take this. Your feedback is very important to us. So to recap, available in Q1 in terms of edge data inputs, we support Modbus Rock and FreeWave I/O. And I should clarify that this is on the Zoom Edge. This is the automatically integrated in that little tab I showed, but if you have a IOE serial base, that is also available via the Modbus polling. In terms of edge data publishing via MQTT and email, we can go to many of the common SCADA systems. We also support going to AWS and ThingsBoard for cloud platforms. And then data processing. The alerting demo I showed, that edge storage, that real-time and store and forward data history publishing, all available in our release coming out in Q1. In terms of where we take this next, we're looking at adding additional inputs in terms of Bluetooth sensors and bringing that into our data processing. In terms of additional protocols like OPC UA, DNP3, or Allen Bradley, we're looking at additional data publishing destinations like Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. And in terms of data processing, looking at things like PLC Lite, so to take that alert from not just a data message, but take that to triggering a data output or writing to a protocol. And then also adding statistics and trending at the edge, and potentially also some AI and machine learning models where we would run those at the edge to detect events, detect failures. It's definitely meant to be an expandable platform, and your feedback is very important to us here. So we think we've got a good solution for connectivity, for data collection with these industrial protocols, but we are definitely continuing to build this with our team here at FreeWave, and we look forward to getting your feedback and expanding this throughout the year. Thank you. And for more information, of course, contact your FreeWave account manager and sales rep. You can follow us on LinkedIn, where we'll have more announcements of new things we're coming out with. It's going to be an exciting year for FreeWave, and certainly an exciting time for FreeWave Edge software. Thank you, and look forward to hearing from you.